Hey, if you're still watching the video at the end, don't forget to check out the alternative scenes that didn't make the final cut of the movie.
I'd let the geek get the girl.
Not in my movie.
But without further ado, here's the review.
Hello?
Hello, Sydney. Remember me?
It's a dumbass white movie about some dumbass white girls getting their white asses cut the fuck up.
Accurate enough for me.
Thank you. Hi, here you go. What's this? Stab souvenirs. The studio sent them.
Wait, you're telling me this movie is based off a real story that's not even 3 years old and the studio decided to send over costumes of the killer for everyone? Talk about adding insult to injury. It's uglier than having a brick in your bathroom and a big ass window next to the shower. You know, this movie better had cracked 200 million at the box office the way the movie theater is advertising this movie. And furthermore, it's convenient enough for someone to get killed in the theater. What kind of plan is this? I'm going to assume this is Mickey here because he seems like the only person that would care about killing these two students unrelated to Sydney, simply because of their names. But literally everything fell into place perfectly for him to kill Omar here. To the studio sending over costumes, to everyone in the movie theater actually wearing the mask while watching the movie, to people being in the bathroom when Omar wanted to go to the bathroom, to the bathroom only having 2 urinals causing Omar to go in the stall.
You could say what happened in that theater is a direct result of the movie itself.
That is so moral majority. You can't blame real-life violence on entertainment.
This is such a good scene with Randy's film study class talking about sequels and what happened at the movie theater. Not just because it continues the meta theme in the franchise, but also because Mickey basically tells his classmates and the audience his plan 15 minutes into the film.
The killer obviously patterned himself after 2 serial killers who have been immortalized on film.
Thank you, right.
While also trying to convince him that this iteration will be better than the first one. Because like he said,
many sequels have surpassed their original.
Oh, yeah?
Name one.
Yeah.
and this scene is written well by Kevin Williamson.
Oh, Sydney, share with us, please.
This scene is in a good category because it does a nice job bringing the characters back together and the movie showing how the characters have been since the last movie. Sydney has a boyfriend in college now while Randy is still in the friend zone. Also, Cotton is out of jail and looking for some notoriety because of his conviction, and Gail is still trying to get ahead as a reporter, even with the fame from the new movie. Not to mention her and Dewey didn't last long, but yeah, we kind of saw that coming though. The movie also doesn't do a bad job introducing the new characters in the franchise, even though they aren't as good as the first movie. Jerry O'Connell isn't a bad inclusion as Derek, and the same goes for Elise Neal as Haley. Also, Timothy Olyphant isn't bad as Mickey, even though it becomes obvious he's one of the killers. So with that, the movie earns a 1.0 out of 1.0 for actors and acting.
Do you want to die tonight, Cece?
So, Cece knows that 2 students were killed, but just casually answers another phone call after being threatened instead of immediately calling the cops or campus security. Not to mention, she's so scared, but she just leaves the door open, allowing Ghostface II to just come in.
Hello, Ted.
You wish it was Ted.
Yeah, it's not like the phone will be used for anything. This is just a good kill with Cece being thrown off the deck.
Hello?
Hello, Sydney.
Does she really have to answer the phone?
It's me. You okay? You okay? You okay?
No, Derek, no!
You know, if Derek is actually a good boyfriend, why doesn't he do the actual responsible thing and get Sid to safety rather than just leaving her outside and going in there to mess with the killer? This does nothing but make him look even more suspicious because he lives.
As in Casey Becker? As well as your boyfriend, Stephen Orth.
As in Phil Stevens.
Aside from this not ever materializing in anything, this actually makes Mickey's plan in the beginning even more ridiculous. Not only the fact that he was actually able to kill them in his setting, but also the fact that he found two people with the right names and they just so happened to want to go to the movies that night.
I've been thinking about this whole murder thing. Have you checked out Randy?
What?
This scene is in a good category because just like the first movie, this movie does a nice job throwing in a subtle hint at who the killer is. In the first movie, Stu spreads the idea that Sid's dad could be the killer.
I think it's her father. Why can't they find her pops, man?
And in this movie, Mickey does the same thing with Randy. But it's better in the first movie because Stu and Billy's plan from the start was to frame Sid's dad. But in this movie, Mickey wasn't trying to frame Randy. He's just throwing him under the bus at this point.
When my mom left my dad, I accepted it. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Whose idea was it to cast Luke Wilson as Skeet Ulrich as Billy Loomis? Come on, that's just perfect.
Just look at the suspects. There's Derek, the obvious boyfriend. Hello, Billy Loomis.
This is a good meta scene with Randy and Dewey going over the suspects.
Manson, Bundy, OJ,
I don't know what's more ridiculous about this scene. Them splitting up, Randy not being smart, them thinking the killer is talking to them right out in the open, or Randy actually going where the killer wants him to go. Come on, Randy's smarter than this.
If the killer really is watching and relishing every minute, then he'd be here on these tapes, right?
Whoa. What are they expecting to find on these tapes exactly? Killer changing in and out of costume behind a damn tree? What an iconic set piece in the movie that is shot well by Wes Craven. Gale being one step in front of Ghostface while the setting makes the audience even more tense. And this is also why the directing is in the good category. Wes Craven continues to incorporate some great shots in the movie and the sequel, from this set piece to the simple shot of Sid and Haley talking and another character entering the shot. So with that, the movie earns a 1.0 out of 1.0 for directing.
So where are you taking us anyway?
If we tell you, we'll have to kill you.
Worst cops ever. On the bright side though, the movie would get a point in the good category as well because of the visuals and the stunts. Just like Randy said,
Number 1, the body count is always bigger. Number 2, the death scenes are always much more elaborate. More blood, more gore.
And the movie delivers on that as the kills look great throughout the movie, and the visual effects that are in the movie are displayed well. So with that, the movie earns a 0.5 out of 0.5 for visuals and stunts. Okay, this is a tense scene and all with Sydney and Haley escaping through the window, but this scene will also go in the bad category because it's a complete bullshit. Mickey escapes without them knowing and then is able to kill Hallie.
What?
Is there any logical reason Cotton is here on campus right now? I mean, not only is the campus on lockdown, but Sydney left campus. So there's literally no reason he should be here right now. Well, other than to make him look like a suspect, of course. Wait. So instead of running to a police station, she runs back to campus? To the theater?
Don't you know history repeats itself?
This reveal is in a bad category because of how obvious it is. I mean, Mickey hasn't been seen since the cafeteria scene, so him being the killer isn't a huge surprise in this movie. On the bright side, though, this scene will also go in the good category because the movie does well having Sydney doubt Derek's good intentions because of her trauma with Billy. And in the end, that doubt ultimately leads him to get killed. I also think it's a good way to show how Sydney isn't completely over what happened, even though throughout the movie she puts herself in instances where she tries to move on. From her deciding to get into another relationship, to her being in a play in which the lead is about to get stabbed.
Mrs. Loomis?
This reveal is in a good category because the Mrs. Loomis reveal is one of the best things about the movie. The movie, including Billy's mom, is a great inclusion and does a better job making the actions of the sequel more authentic. Mickey trying to essentially get famous is but adding in Mrs. Loomis as his partner and the brains of the plan helps the plot and the story. And Laurie Metcalf does a great job in the role. The movie also does well continuing the meta trend started in the first movie and applying it to the sequel. What hinders the plot and the story, though, is the likelihood of Mickey's plan actually working because most of the murders are convenient. To Omar and Jada in the theater, to Buffy the Vampire Slayer not closing the door or calling the cops, to Randy walking right where Mrs. Loomis wanted him to be. And I didn't even mention the horrible cops. So with that, the movie earns a 0.5 out of 1.0 for plot and story.
God damn it!
Why is he still on campus? Plot conveniences like these is also why the horror in this movie isn't as good as the first movie. The horror in the first movie was more authentic as it didn't allow plot convenience to mess with the scary elements of the film. But the horror in this movie isn't bad though, as the score does well impacting certain scenes. So with that, the movie earns a 0.4 out of 0.5 for horror. And when it comes to the editing of the movie, there's no problems, so it remains a 0.3 out of 0.3. And the score of the movie does well during certain scenes, even though it's not as impactful as the first movie. So with that, the movie earns a 0.1 out of 0.2 for score. So now that we have the numbers, let's add them up. So the movie ends up with a 3.8 out of 4.5, and that gives it a...
Sequels suck. No, wow. By definition alone, they're inferior films.
What did Mama tell you? When I wear this badge, you treat me like a man of the law.
I never thought I'd be so happy to be a virgin.
What's happening? The killer is cotton fucking wearing.
That is so sexist. The killer could easily be female. Basic instinct.
My mom and dad are gonna be so
Sorry.
Hello?
Nev, hey, how you doing?
What do you want?
You know, we talked it over here at Paramount, and we want you back for Scream 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, etc.
Then show me the check, you fucking coward.
Yeah, we'll call you back. So they're gonna go to New Mexico for Scream 9? Okay. No, we can make that work without Sid. We just gotta find out a way to get him there.